Politrics board has 81 squares arranged in a 9x9 pattern. The line-up fields for the dark figures are near square 11. For the light figures, they're near square 99. The squares are addressed by their XY coordinates. The inner 7x7 squares are the playing field. The scoring squares are in shades of blue. The outer 9x9 squares are the retirement squares in shades of red. When a piece is moved or placed on a retirement square, it can no longer move. It is essentially frozen, but it can still be included as part of a declaration. Retirement squares have no score value, and a declaration cannot be comprised solely within retirement squares. The beating of a piece counts as a move and has priority to placing. When the game begins, players take it in turns to position pieces on the board, but are not allowed to move around the board, with the exception of beating an opponent's piece. You can only beat a piece in the direction that your attacking piece, in this case a voter, can move in. So the voter can move in all directions, so it's going to attack diagonally, and it does so by jumping over the piece into the opposite corresponding tile. And when a piece is beaten, it's taken off the board completely and it's sort of owned by the opposition. It is not possible to beat a piece if there is a piece in the way, and it's the same for horizontally or diagonally any piece. If there is a piece in the way, it's not possible to beat the opponent's piece. So it is possible to place your figures or pieces on the board to prevent your opponent from taking your pieces that would otherwise help you create a declaration and win the game. Whether pieces are placed during the first stage of play is very important to setting up for the second phase of the game. In this scenario, player A has placed all of their pieces onto the board, so they can move pieces and beat pieces. Player B has yet to move all of their pieces onto the board, so they can only place pieces and beat pieces. This means that player B can only take pieces in order to stop player A from creating a declaration. The civil servant is, at the base is a square, on top is a pig. He can be placed on any square, he cannot move, and he cannot beat figures. But he does have what's called an aura, which means one square in all directions, a president cannot be placed. The aura is also maintained when placed on a retirement square. The president can neither be placed inside the aura nor enter it. Now the next one is the delegate. At the base of the delegate is a circle, on top is a snail. The delegate can be placed on any square. He can move one square horizontally or vertically and can beat any opponent's figure by jumping over it in the same sense of his directions. At the base of the minister is a triangle, on top is a vulture. He can be placed on any square and can move one square diagonally and beat any opponent's figure in the same sense. Next is the voter, which has at its base a 4-leaf clover, on top is a sheep. The voter can be placed on any square, can move one square in any direction and beat any opponent's figure by jumping over it in the same direction as it moves. At the base of the president is an 8-pointed star. On top is a Welsh dragon. The president can be placed anywhere on the board except for in the retirement square. He cannot enter the aura of a civil servant. Your own pieces are no exception to this rule. You cannot place your own president next to your own civil servant as well as an opponent's. The president can move one square in any direction, but he cannot beat any of the opponent's figures. The president can also act as a multiplier if included in a row of 5 anywhere on the board, but only one multiplier can be applied to a declaration, either the centre square or the president, but not both. The game is the overall contest to reach 100 points, which is played over a number of boards until one player has reached that amount. The moves and scores are recorded on charts and is demonstrated in the Wilfred vs Gerard video demonstration. There are 3 ways to win a board of politrics. By creating a row of 5 pieces, a player makes an automatic declaration. This row must be safe from your opponent's pieces. Your opponent can choose to accept a declaration even if they have the option of continuing play, if, for example, it would only result in a low score or to prevent you from reaching a higher score in later play. So when someone creates a declaration, a row of 5 pieces in a horizontal or diagonal line, the opposition has 1 chance to beat a figure in that row to prevent it from being row 5 again. The minister can beat a civil servant, but that's not affecting this row of 5. So the minister cannot move horizontally or defeat pieces horizontally, so that's useless in this case. And also is the civil servant, which cannot beat pieces. So this is a safe declaration. This is what you call a safe declaration. It's wise to place a piece here before you place a piece here, perhaps, if there is an opposing threat. The second way is to beat your opponent's president. Incapacitation occurs when a player does not have enough remaining pieces on the board to viably construct a row of 5 and make a declaration. It is possible for a player to incapacitate him or herself by moving pieces into the retirement squares, which can be done to prevent their opponent from winning the board with a higher score. Wherever a player's pieces reside at the end of the game determines the player's scores. The scoring squares have a points value system ranging from 6 points to 1 point, with a multiplier in the centre square 55. The white squares and the retirement squares have no point scoring value. As well as the centre square acting as a multiplier, when creating a declaration, duplicate pieces also act as a multiplier. So in this row of 5, we have a civil servant on a retirement square giving us no points, a voter giving us 1 point, a minister giving us 3 points, a delegate giving us 5 points, and another voter on the multiplier square. So because in this declaration we have 2 duplicate pieces, that gives us a multiplier. We have 2 voters, so there's already, that's making it times 2, and one of those voters is on the multiplier, so that makes the total score times 3. So we have a total score of 9. 2 of them are duplicate pieces and 1 of them is on the multiplier, so that means we times our 9 by 3 to give us a total score of 27 for this game. Thank you for watching this tutorial on how to play politrics. One of the best ways to learn is to watch a game and to play a game, so there now follows a demonstration of playing a board.